Pisces, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm ready here to do your next reading, Pisces. So I've pre-shuffled the cards and I have opened them, so I feel like there's definitely a message here. And well, I guess I'm just starting with the really quick, and then I'll see, because usually there's something that comes out when I just keep channeling, I keep talking somehow, that I feel like is more like to the point of something. And I have this feeling when I sat down here, it's like there's something like I have forgotten, or and it's also in the reading here, right? So let me just start by this, by starting, just starting. So if you're new to my channel, I speak about spiritual awakening journeys, figuring out who you are, what you actually want in life, why you're here, or purpose, or something like that. So if you like what I do, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, and of course, just thank you for that if you do that. So overall energy for you, I have man holding a coin here, clarified with the Time Master. So man holding a coin is, well, I would say it's about, well, I get a message now. It's like, well, first of all, it's about finances, something tangible, work, perhaps salary, receiving something. I get the feeling of like a sense of an impatience with the Time Master here, connected with this card. Something about, when is my coin coming, right? When is my coin, or my, I don't feel reward. I've had that with the Aries reading a couple of times, like, where's my reward? It feels a little more tangible this time, not just like, well, rewards can be tangible. This actually feels more like pay, like, where is my pay? In the sense that rewards can be something you can get if you do a good deed, right? This feels more like I have done work, right? I've done work, like real work. So why have I not gotten any pay? Or why is not something here not paying out? I feel like paying out. It's not just that, well, a reward can be because someone feel like you deserve one, right? Then they would maybe reward you with something or gift you with something. This feels a little more like I am somehow entitled, or this is the normal way, right? That the normal way is that if I provide you with this product, you should pay me, right? Or if I'm selling something, the customers should pay to get it, right? That's it comes across as like money, like, and this is overall energy, so it could be something on your mind, Pisces, something about maybe it's something about, there could be something about patience here. The Time Master usually talks about how we in the human life see, now I get another message here, how we in human life usually see like a time. That time is this linear thing, that goes from A to B, or life to death, and in between we live this life. So we have morning, we have noon, we have afternoon, and we have evening. And it just continues like that. And something that was once is not coming back. Like it's in the past, done dollar. We can't go back to that. We can't also go forth or forward. Not yet, right? We can tomorrow, we are there. But now we are not there. Like it has this very boxed in understanding that that's how time works. But the invitation here says that when the time master visits you, he asks a more important question. Will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? So cyclic means that it repeats itself, or it all, you could say, is available at the same time. You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns and you are able to influence the past. You find yourself in a moment where the wheel of time turns and you are able to influence the past, thus changing the present and future simultaneously. This is the true test of the time master. You're being invited to take back your power, to let go of the past and choose to step into your life. In this moment, you are all powerful. You are the time master. Everything is possible now. So when we believe in the time master, we believe that there's a possibility to maybe go back and fix something, or retrieve something, or and somehow I get the feeling of money here, like have you lost money somehow, Pisces, like, or lost the ability to hold on to? He's holding a coin here, to hold on to money, or to get money, or to receive money, or something here. Any kind of tangible awareness that kind of give you this sense of security, that you have what you need. You are invited to somehow believe that this is possible, that if you at some point lost your faith in something, or you lost your faith in yourself, that you were good enough to do something, or you're capable enough to hold on to money, to actually have money. Or that someone would offer you something, offer you employment, or offer you, just give you something, right? That this is not a... Yeah, it feels a little bit like you are impatient. Where is it, right? It should come in. Maybe you've made some kind of investment and it seems like it's not, because I have the man holding a coin. I took another clarifier here, the Two of Earth. This is juggling too much. Like you're juggling too much. You have maybe 2 jobs, or you have too much on your plate. It's stressful. The idea of money and constantly having this income of money is stressful. It feels like you have to juggle a lot to kind of get this money, right? And somehow you are invited to like look beyond the illusion of time. Time, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel and others moving straight as an arrow. Time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line from past to future. Humans see time like a ticking clock, And this image reminds us that there's only so much of it to spend in a life, like a kind of currency at any given time. You can see time in all its infinite potential, at once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective. Somehow, I don't know, it just gets a feeling that money is stressful somehow. It could be that you are, that because she's a woman here, right? And this is a man, right? It could be something about feeling that, let's say you are a woman here, that money, like the idea of handling money, getting money, earning money, having enough money, is stressful. And you are wondering when are they coming? Like, this prince, when am I meeting the right one? The one that can help me with this, right? The one that, it could be that holds the coin. Let's say this is a boss here, or like they are in charge of maybe your employment, right? Your employment here. It could be that it's like you're doing two-man's job here, where you want someone to step up and do that, like take their bit, that they hold a coin and you hold one, right? That you hold a job and they hold a job, right? That they, I don't know, like live up, or, like man up somehow to actually hold that coin, to bring it home, right? It's like, it feels a little bit like running out of time, running out of, there could be some financial restraints here or something, where you feel a pressure, maybe, like you have a, like big payments that come up, right? And you're wondering if you have enough money by the end of the month to actually pay the next bills. So again, the time comes in, this idea that we have from the 1st to the 31st in a month, and in that period of time we have to like settle our expenses so that we will not use too much money. There's something about this man holding a coin that I'm okay, interesting. It's like now it's like that I can feel it if there's something off somehow. When I look at him, he holds one coin here, and then I can't see the other hand. I can't see. Like there's something going on down here, but I can't see it. But it's clarified with two. It's almost like you are. Could you be having, like an official job or an official income, and then another one, like another one that, like one that is up in the open. This is what everybody knows about you. This is, the people in your life, they know this about you, but then you also have this here that is not, that feels more like it. Something that is, I wouldn't say it's illegal job. It's just something that maybe it's more like a hobby, and you would like it to be more. I have the unique gifts card also on the table here that talk about that we do have certain kind of superpowers or certain things that well, quirks perhaps, the meaning behind your quirks, exploring your interests, shortcomings as unique, undiscovered skills, right? That's what the book says. That we do have certain things that maybe this has been like really difficult ones, but because you are now mastering it better, it actually is something that could be used in some way. As the underlying energy for you, I have, well, maybe I get back to it, I think. As the underlying energy, I have the indecision card here, clarified with the King of Ariel, which talks about stable, successful, accomplished, and powerful king here, right? It's something like you don't know how to become this king here, how to which way do I go? Again, it's almost like you have two decisions, or you have like this one job, you know, or this one way of earning money, and then there is another one. But you know, like if the other one is maybe not a normal job, you could say, a job that is in society regarded as a normal job. You know, that's what I feel like here. There is a job that is normal, you could say, or that is what you have been doing, or maybe you have education that matches this, and this is what you have been doing. But somehow I get the feeling that this other hand is perhaps doing something else also. And maybe you like that better, actually. That's the indecision here. It could be that you are working to become, you know, like you could work on something and you could, like, maybe, I don't know if it's secretive. Maybe it is secretive. Doing something else, let's say you want to change your line of business, so you're taking another like part-time or weekend education course or something to get yourself prepared for another kind of job. Like the line of job you're working in here doesn't feel fulfilling anymore somehow. And this other thing that is going on between or underneath this man holding a coin text here is kind of, it's like doing something under the counter. I'm not saying it's illegal necessarily or something. It's just, it feels like it's off grid. Like nobody may know about this, or you are not really, you know, maybe you are not doing marketing. Maybe you're not, like maybe your name is not out there somehow, or you haven't made that decision yet. Like you are juggling two different things here, and it could be something about which one, because it is actually too much. I think you should maybe choose. Like they could be very different, like two different lines of jobs, you know, like one very practical and maybe one very, I don't know, maybe spiritual or humanistic or something. But somehow it comes across like an indecision, like being split between whether you should go one way or the other. It could be, you know, like, again, the indecision card is clarified with the king here that wants to be stable and successful. Maybe you don't know how to become that stable and successful. Maybe that's why you have a focus on the money here, right? That this is one of the things that signifies a king of Ariel here. Like these two go together, right? That one who is stable and successful and everything has the coin, right? That would be how it would be seen. And there could be this feeling of impatience that you have been, maybe you have invested in something and it just seems like it's not working out. It's like it's too much trouble, or you have put a lot of work into it and it doesn't seem like it's actually working out, or the pay you get is low or not very significant. The job I think that you have done here that has to do with maybe the secondary job that is underneath here. That job here is again, it feels a little bit like hobby, or hobby. Or again, Pisces, you are the last zodiac sign, right? You are considered psychic, like you are considered you're a water sign, but you are also usually quite intuitive and have perhaps certain gifts here, right? That maybe you do have certain gifts, and you maybe you are wondering if some of this can be used in reality. You could say that you can use it in the existing world out there. That these gifts should come to the forefront, and that is supposed to show you where you should go. Maybe you are not sure exactly whether your gifts here can carry water, right? Whether they are strong enough, like that you can have or be some kind of healer, perhaps, or some kind of whether it can earn money. Like the gifts are maybe beautiful, but maybe you're wondering if people would pay for that. Like, would they pay me to be a, like if you look up the blue pages about let's say clairvoyant people, right? You can find many of them, perhaps. So if I should be yet another one who just puts out my gift there, will I somehow find customers? Because these others, they have been there for 10, 20 of years, and probably people know them already. So if I put out my name there, why should they somehow choose me? So there could be this second guessing of, is the time right for this? And also it's like discovering or choosing to use my gifts now is like I just pop into the middle of the masses of these alternative healers, perhaps, right? That you're wondering if it would be waste of time, perhaps, or if you can somehow be that king here, right? How can I become stable and successful and accomplished and powerful here? What way should I go to get that? It could also be something like the unique gifts here can be, if they are psychic, you could have sensitivities. You could be very intuitive. Sometimes this can be quite overwhelming. You could be an empath. If you sit with these energies and you want to come across as being stable and successful and everything, how do you do that, right? Because like being in a work field, can be quite stressful for an empath. Being out there with all that energy flowing around you can be quite overwhelming. So how do I become, where can I go here? Where can I go with my unique gifts and feel stable and successful and accomplished? So the things that I'm doing out there, the things I'm known for, the things that perhaps you're known for here, but the things you're doing matches the environment, or that the environment matches what you are here or how you are, right? That you, that again, it could be this feeling that I don't know where to find the job that is right for me, right? That the time, what I am here, what I am and what I can do is not the time. The time is not right for that, right? It's like the time and these two don't go together right now. It's like I've come into this world at the wrong time. Like the things that are my gifts are not valued. Like there's no job like that. There's no job like that out there. Like I don't think I've ever heard about someone who got a job as an empath. You may get a job as a social worker or something, but you don't get a job as an empath, for instance. It's not a job description, right? It doesn't work like that. So it means that you are up against a time here, or an understanding of time, that time is, if you see it as a linear fashion, then you are in the third dimension. And the third dimension primarily favors yang-oriented energy and yang, you could say, jobs. You always have to do something, not just be something, right? Not just be. It's like there is no being job. It's like if you look at the flower and you look at the bee would get paid because they fly. They get the honey or they get the nectar and they fly back and then they deliver it somewhere. So the bee would get paid because it's doing a job, but the flower is not paid for just being a flower. It just stands there, right? So it's like the flower in itself is not something you pay. Like you can't earn money for just being something. You know, like does it make sense? It's like it's how we also see the world, right? Those that are actively doing something, they get paid. You are not paid to be an old person living in a nursery home. You may get some kind of pension, but the pension is almost like it's a part of the wages that it's because you have been active at some point. In your younger years, you were active. And the pension is kind of a payback of when you were actually active, when you were strong and active, right? That's then you can get to a nursery home, you live there, you pay for that probably, and maybe you get a little kind of pension. But when you are just being something, you are not paid. Like you don't get I think you get my point, right? Everything that is not moving is passive, and everything that is passive or yin-like is not, doesn't have the same value as the things that are moving and active and does something. As I said with the bee is flying back and forth. It's the job, it's what it's doing, right? Or it's a scout, it's scouting for a new place to live or a new place to build a new hive somehow. But then it's its job. It flies out there and scans for whatever, investigates, and then it comes back with information. Because it's doing that job, it has value, and it receives, respect. It receives, you could say, maybe status. The role is amplified. You are a scout, right? There's an identification with what it is that you are doing for the group or for the community, for the family perhaps. So you're doing something. There's something about doing something and being something. Because I think this is something that you are. As I said, you can be an empath. It's like an innate way of being. You are like that. You have ways of tuning in on something. If you are clairvoyant, I believe, or a medium, like I believe certain mediums and clairvoyants can learn how to shut some of this energy down, but there are others that are open. Like I believe empaths, telepaths, and seers are open. It's more difficult for them to kind of shut the information down. Like the information that comes here, if you are open, like you have antennas out, like this could be, you could be like a human lie detector here, right? You could be like someone, you just look at people and if they are lying or not. That could be a skill that you have. It's something you are. You are actually not doing anything. You just sit there, and it's almost like the information just comes to you. Or you can look at a person, and then it's like it's just coming. It's like you could say an information exchange. Like an online information exchange. But not everybody can do this. It's something you are here, right? You are this. And because you are this, it's maybe it's difficult to hold a normal job because you are this. And if you should choose it alone, there is really no job title, right? You can usually get a job as a human lie detector. They would go by the machine because it's more reliable, right? What you say could be just, it could be an expression. They have no way of testing whether you speak the truth. Well, they could make in that case, they could make a comparison, right? But it could be other kinds of gifts that you have, that you just know when people walk by you, you know how they feel, right? Or you know what they are thinking about. But you should actually ask them to make sure if you got it right. Like, that you get information, but you get my point, right, Pisces? I think you get my point. I feel like I'm talking to a Pisces who is wondering about work situation because there's something that is innately there that somehow, I feel like it's pressing you forward because you stand, this is underlying energy. It's something that has been pushing you for a while here. Like it's pushing you forward. So this could have been like really dimmed down. You haven't thought about it. You've just been doing your job. And then it started becoming more and more. Like you were maybe not sure you should keep the job that you normally have, you know. And it becomes more and more and more and more and more. And now you're really wondering. Like you don't feel you can be stable perhaps in the job you normally do. It's like maybe it has become more like your sensitivities have heightened. I feel like with the unique gift here, it's like it's from maybe being more dormant, it's becoming more and more evident. It could be something about also aging, like again the time master here, that when you are older, it could be that this amplifies, that when you were in your 20s, you didn't think about it so much. Or you could kind of hold it somehow. It didn't flush up like this. Now it could be that it's becoming more and more difficult to handle it, right? That you're wondering what to do about this. Because it becomes more and more. And you just want to be this stable person, right? You want to be financially stable. You want to be successful. You want to feel that you have your things together, that your plans are working out well, that you have professional and financial success. That's the person you want to be, right? But becoming more and more, maybe this is becoming more and more difficult, right? The normal way of doing this is not what, like maybe you can't do it anymore. Like literally that some of your psychic abilities or intuition here is becoming more and more sensitive. We know that also with elderly people, because they become less and less active. They are actually, with or without knowing, they're actually embracing more feminine energy. They take more breaks, they sit a little more, they rest a little more. It could be that what we are talking about here is someone who is, like retiring here, right? The time master could be, you have reached a certain age. This is what you have been working with. Now you are released from this, right? And now you are released from one kind of life and one kind of thinking, one kind of work way of thinking. And you could embrace something else. I feel though there's something stressful about it. Could be something like you are wondering if you should have changed your job from maybe a high paid job to a less paid job, or you get less hours, so you have one salary and it will be lower, right? Because you work less hours. Let's say because you are getting older or something and you can't work as much. So the time master is here challenging you to somehow, this idea of retirement and everything is, well, I've said it before in was it Aquarius? I think something like, if we didn't know, if we had no idea about this birth and death understanding, like if no human knew that, would we even think about it then? But because it's a part of society, there is an understanding about children, youth, adults, and then mature age and elderly, right? there is this idea of like and that the elderly part, or the matured adult, you could say, is then you start to decline again. But what if we didn't know that? Because it can become a programming, right? That you know that when you are, let's say, like I'm 52 now, right? So I'm actually on the decline now, right? I've started the decline in terms of how long people live, right? The lifespan of people. Again, the challenged by the time master here. Do you believe that you could somehow change this, or that you can challenge this somehow? This idea that because I'm 52, my life is over, or because I'm 70, my life is over, something like that. I can never get a well-paid job. Would I even go there? Like it will take me years to build that kind of experience. It will take me years to get the right salary. Is it even worth it because I'm already 60? Like starting over or starting a new job, like this indecision here, starting a new job, even if you are in your 60s. Would that be because you want the stability here, and you could just stay where you are? I think, like you could stay with what you have here, but you would never know, right? You would never know if there's this other plan of yours, or maybe like launching some kind of little business or something where you're doing something special here, that if it like it's worth it. Like, will I have clients enough? Will it be able to sustain itself? Can I be sustained by it? Or should I just stay on my pension? Something like that. Like, is it too late? There's something about the time issue here, like it's too late. I've gotten too old to like embrace new here, to start something new, even though I may hold it in high regard, right? I may see it like this is what I want to do, and then there's this other thing here that she's looking towards this, and it's almost like it's glowing. This looks more golden than this one. I don't know if you can see it, otherwise it's just me, but it looks like there's like almost like a glow to this, and this doesn't, not the same way. So that there is a favored occupation perhaps, or a favored kind of job, or again, is it just what you are? Like, what if I could get paid for what I am? Not for what I do, but for what I am. Let's say, well, this can be anything, right? I'm just, because this can be spiritual, unique gifts here. So I'm just throwing something out there, right? Let's say you are, because it's interesting when we look at nature, right? Nature, the trees just stand there. We don't want them gone. Actually, we want them to stay, right? It's part of our ecosystem. They provide oxygen by just standing there. They provide oxygen. They provide something that is vital to us by just being a tree. I get the feeling that there's something that you are. Okay, I'm just saying this, right? Just maybe, like you could be a person that just because you sit in the room, you balance the energy in the room. Like maybe you have a certain calmness about you. And by you just being in the room, every time people come in and they could be a bit frustrated or something, they kind of just calm down. Does that make sense? It's like the flower. Like you could be like the flower in the vase, or the flower that stands on the table in the room. And you are not doing anything. You're just standing there, sitting there. But every time people are around you, they kind of calm down. Like having a healer effect without doing, you just sit there. You're not even saying anything. Or as I said, you could be an empath or a telepath or something. You can pick up information from the people around you by just sitting there. But that's not you don't get paid for sitting there and picking up information. It's not a job description. That's what I feel like with the Time Master also. It's like, but maybe it was once. I talked about, was it in I don't remember, or Scorpio, I think. I talked about once there was an oracle of Delphi. Oracles were working as psychic channels. That was all they did. They sat there. They could sit like in trance, and they were speaking perhaps in tongues, right? It was Sagittarius reading. They were sitting and speaking in tongues, like just channeling or something. And people could ask them a question and they would come with some kind of answer. And there was an understanding that this oracle was in direct contact with the divine, a divine advisor. So the answer had value. The answer had value. You just sat there. You were like a channel or a vessel or a tool, and you could just speak about something. That would then be what you are doing. You are speaking something, or you are being a tool. Again, do you get paid? Well, you could say that we can all be God's tools then. If you are a baker, you believe that you have your own independent life, but in God's eyes, you could be someone who, like the way you serve as His tool is that you can somehow make something that is maybe not aidable into something aidable. Or like a cook, anybody who works with food in some way is a way of like providing or serving as a preparer, that you are a preparer of something. So in that way, you are a preparer tool. A carpenter or other blue-collar jobs, perhaps they are again thinking of themselves as individual beings doing their jobs, but in God's eyes, you could be a wood tool. Your hands become a tool that can shape and sharpen and shape or mold wood. Let's just say that. So why shouldn't God choose someone who has some kind of gift here to be something? To be, as like an oracle is like a channeling instrument or tool. You are in service of a divine something. Um, a divine kind of work. If you sit as an oracle, and this oracle of Delphi was widely known and highly appreciated. Like, again, they didn't, they were taken care of. It was their job to sit there. They had this specific qualification. And that's why they sat there. There were others at the temple who brought them water and food if they needed it, or helped them if they had to, if they got exhausted. This channeling could be quite exhausting for the body. They helped them get to a place where they could rest. The temple was quiet because this channeling takes a certain sense of like non-noise. The prestige, the role, the work they were doing was being in service in that way. And it could be that there's something about this being here, being in service. Why can I not just be in service? Like, why do I have to do something? Like, let's say if you have certain unique gifts here, like psychic gifts here. Let's say you have been working in Walmart as a cashier, but that job doesn't really allow you to use any of these gifts here or be this. It doesn't allow you to be this. It's a way of getting money, right? As I said, it's a way of getting some kind of money. But down here, you have another, you could say, occupation. And that occupation is being in service here. And but it just feels like the time isn't right. Like, society, people don't get it. Like, they don't get that this has value, right? That this is a valuable thing. We take it for granted, right? The intuition of the mother in the home. This idea of when to talk and when not to talk, or when to do something and when not to do it, or people today can, if they are seekers, if they seek something in their life, they are not satisfied with their life, they seek something, then they can go to healers and clairvoyants and mediums and other kinds of alternative workers. But most of society still doesn't. Well, I think there is an opening, like something about that. They recognize that some of this is useful. But there are also many people still who would just shake their head. They don't believe in healers. They don't believe in spirit. They don't believe in God or religion. They don't believe in that. Like, it's only what I can see, right? It's only what is in front of me. That's what I can trust. This other woo-woo is not really something I don't relate to it, I don't believe in it, I don't trust it. So you can't necessarily like go online and get a job description as a balancer. Let's just say that. As I said, you sit in the room and people get in, and it's just like they calm down when you sit there. So in some way you have some kind of healing energy field. And when they get in touch with that, it's like they just, like the shoulders come down, right? And But you don't get paid for that, right? You can still be the cashier in, yeah, that's what I feel like. You can still be the cashier in Walmart, but actually you're doing two jobs. Do you get my point? It's like you're doing one official job, but then you're actually doing two here. You're actually doing two, or you have a job where you earn the money, and then you have a higher calling job, like the gifts here, that are actually your real purpose, the real reason why you're here. But it's like, it could be the feeling that when you are at work, you are double exposed in comparison with other people who do not have this openness. Like you feel extra overwhelmed perhaps, or it's definitely important somehow that the work you are doing here, and then there is this other, like then there is this also that you are also handling at the same time, but people don't know about it, right? They don't know what it is. They may not rely on it. They may not wanna, pay for it. Like they wanna. It's not part of your job descriptions. You're just supposed to be a cashier, nothing else. But this is not something you can close off. It's there. You take it with you. That's just how it is, right, Pisces? It's not necessarily something you can shut off. It's open somehow. And well, it could be the feeling that it's like with the Time Master, like the Time Master would suggest that there could be a time, or there was a time, where these gifts were highly valued. This is a Lemurian card, and well, I've talked about Lemuria before, and you may also know about Lemuria, but it was a very like loving community. It was highly with a lot of psychic gifts here, a lot of crystals, very telepathic kind of communication, but again very kind, very open, very understanding and compassionate. It was yin based. It was slower, I believe, slower in its way of like dealing with things. And it means that if you somehow DNA-wise or bloodline-wise have some of these gifts here, it's like you are doing two-man's job. Like you're doing a yang job that society rules, that this is the third dimensional 9 to 5 job thing, but actually you are doing more than that. There's something about your beingness perhaps that people are not, well, they may know it, like, they may have a certain that there's a certain touch to you somehow, but it's not something you get paid for. You're not paid for it. But once back in Lemuria, or maybe in the future, because the timeline also can talk about past, present, future in that way, maybe in the past, maybe in the future, this is going to be extremely highlighted and valued. As I said, the Oracle of Delphi, she wasn't doing anything else but that. It's like that was her work, you could say. She was in service by being what she is, like her innateness, her innate being was what she was using to serve, you could say, to serve the community, to work, you could say. But I believe that many people that have psychic gifts, they are in this mess. Like they have to have a normal job, and figure out which one they can actually stay in without being too overwhelmed, because they're actually doing two man's job at the same time. And this part that is very special about them, they don't get paid for that, because there is no job description that tells you that this is, and again, it's something about valuing it enough, like believing that it can stand on its own, that it actually has value by itself. You may think that. Others who know you may think that, right? They may even encourage you to like start this business. You are so good at this, right? But if there are no customers, if people don't want to buy your service, you could say, because others are working as a cashier and they are like that too, and they don't get paid, right? So why should I go to you, right? It's like I think actually that many sensitive people are struggling with this, like including myself. I've been in normal jobs most of my life, and well, I may have known that I was a bit sensitive, but I never thought that it was something. Somehow at some point I think I just thought everyone was like that, like everyone got information like that. But eventually I figured out they don't. And being in a stressful environment can be overwhelming for someone with, let's say, empathic abilities, for instance, or like psychic abilities. It's like there's one kind of information flow that comes from the practical cashier job, and then there's another kind of information flow that comes from the psychic realm, from people's energy fields and so on. But this is like a world of its own, and it's like the world we are in, the third dimension, doesn't favor this. It's like it's almost like it's not supposed to exist in that world. Like that we shouldn't pick up on this somehow. But we do, don't we? Like we do pick up. Some people pick up on this. And you, Pisces, I definitely believe you pick up on it. I've talked before about Pisces being like the fish. The fish has no shield or no claws. Like unlike Cancer and Scorpio, who have a claws and a shell, and Scorpio has a toxic tail also, the fish, the Pisces, has none. And it means that the fish and its safety relies entirely on its intuitive scanning. And we know the fish, it's slippery, then it's gone, right? If you put the fish in the wrong environment, it will try to hide, it will try to get away, because it can feel it, right? It can feel that this is not right for me somehow. And that could be what this is. You know that what you're doing here, the cashier in Walmart here, you know that this is, well, it's a way of getting a coin, but it's not a way of feeling maybe like really powerful and successful here, because the area where you could be that is maybe here, right? Because this is unique for you. This is special for you, right? Maybe there's nothing special about being a cashier in Walmart. No offense, but, you know. And furthermore, there is this feeling that it's like I'm doing two jobs. Like holding what we call a normal job is actually very stressful. I have too much on my plate here because I'm doing more than one job. People just don't get it, right? They don't get it. It's like the time here and people in it. The time of the third dimension is not, they don't understand, they don't get it. I have the front picture this time are these tomatoes you can see, right? And there's this like this ripening or growing or maturing from the little flower to the small green tomatoes to the ripe red one at the end. And the ripe red one is like, this is where things are really good. Now it has gotten all its nurture and all its nutrient is all in there. It's sweet and it's ripe and it's exactly right. But I believe that this kind of, I took it as like a maturing process, right? It's like, either you could see it as, we talk about like the tomato is earth, that earth is going through its own transformation towards the red tomato state, right? Which could be a higher dimensional way of consciousness. And we are maybe one of the still green tomatoes, like earth is in its, well, I believe personally that that the human race here on earth is, we are still just like toddlers, like in consciousness realms. In consciousness realms, we are like toddlers. First of all, we are in form. That suggests a lower vibrational state. And second, our brain is, well, we use 5 to 10% of it. Like, what about the rest, right? If we used 100%, we would open up a lot more psychic awareness and gifts, and eventually get a light body and eventually leave the body, right? It wouldn't be, we would not stay in pain and suffering and third dimensional energy. I believe that the green tomato is kind of suggesting that earth in itself is in a growth process. It's still a toddler. It's still a 4-year-old, right? It's still not, we have learned maybe not to be overly aggressive towards each other, civilized, right? But still we know that it's just not out in the open. Now it's covert. We hide it, or we let it out in other places where like it's more covert, it's hidden, it becomes secrets now. So we have a way of being when we are at work, for instance, and then we have a way of being when we are at home, or when we are out with our friends. So we are highly professional when we are in the business field. We speak, business terms, business language. We are professional. We have our suit on, our tie. We are freshly shaved and everything. And in the weekend, we lay on the couch. The beard grows. We have shorts on and a t-shirt. So we have like 2 or more ways of existing, because we feel some kind of pressure to uphold some kind of existence. This existence, for me, is like, it's how it has become when you are still a toddler in the playground. We are still taking the rubber shuffle and like kicking each other in the head. We may use it, we may not, roar at each other and attack each other like wild lions, but we are projecting, we are reactive, we are uncomfortable, and we react on something. If we are not directly reacting on the person in front of us, we may still stay silent because it's our boss. We may not say anything, or we may only say a little. And as I've talked about in the other readings, we can actually take a situation like that with us into the car when we transmute back to our house. We can sit there. It's still alive. Like it's still, we're still ruminating about it, right? And we could sit and like, we could sit and, you know, like, it's still in there. We could be bickering about it. Like we could sit like, such an idiot, right? Blah, blah, blah. He doesn't understand what it means to have this responsibility, and he doesn't know anything about my work field. Such a, you know, like we could have these thoughts here. So you have them now in your car with you. And you can actually, when you get home to your private space, which should be a place of rejuvenation, joy, engaging with your family, engaging with hobbies, engaging with, you know, like the free time that you have, where you put your shorts on or whatever, or you walk with your dog, or you play with something. You may still be, you know, like it may still be there. It's like sometimes we need actually to say it to someone before it actually kind of leaves us alone. So now I may be speaking to my partner, I may be speaking to someone. I may be even, you know, like being a bit angry. And when I get home, I take that energy with me right into my home. My partner may feel it. My children may feel it, and they just, oh, maybe we should just leave her alone or him alone, right? And we may have a negative, you know, like end of the day feeling, right? We may talk to our partner and so on, or we may even yell at others because this is really frustrating us. So this reactiveness we haven't dealt with it. We don't know how to deal with it. It's still there. We talk to our girlfriends, our male buddies. We let it out to like frustration and fire energy in that way can't stand still. It's like we want it to move. It must somehow move from us again. If fire energy gets heightened, like we get angry, right? It's like we can't just, oh, now I'm not angry anymore. It's like it needs almost like a release somehow. Then we need to know, like, hit something. It's like we take our energy and we hit it. So now the energy is in the table or the chair or the wall or something, right? It's like we need to get the energy moving and out. I believe even that frustrations can be transferred through sex also, that it's a way of releasing some of tension or frustrations or something like that. Of course, when we yell, bigger, argue at others, we are also sending something out, and someone becomes a receiver of it, like that. And this is one of the things that I think that we still need to learn a lot about as humans, right? That we need to be responsible for what we are receiving and what we are sending, because it's especially for someone who may be sitting with this, or children like this, right? That they can be very overwhelmed by like cursing or like negative input. And so can you as a cashier in Walmart, right? That if you feel like people are aggressive in the queue, not waiting, not patient, they have no patience, they send you angry eyes or something like that, you're not just a cashier in Walmart, you're actually you are now also potentially a receiver of like frustrations or negative energy, right? It's like you're actually working with two kinds of energies, right? The products and Walmart environment, and then there's this other realm that you are tapping into, where these gifts are available here, or where they come to the forefront. You may read people, like they like what they're thinking, but not everybody does that. Not everybody has that ability. And it means that when you are, I've said it before, it's like you're doing two jobs actually, but you're only paid for one. And it's like the time now, or society at this moment is not ready for this. Again, it's like the ripening of the green tomato here into the next one and next one and next one. It can be your own process also, because I see in decision here, right, that you are in a maturing process or growth process yourself, Pisces, to recognize or sharpen this to the point where now I can't ignore it anymore. Like now it's in my face constantly. So I'm doing this. I'm saying goodbye to my ordinary job, and I'm doing this. And it can be this feeling of like a ripening, that you are on a journey where something, again, this feeling of maybe I haven't been able to figure out how to become successful in my life. Right? I've never really known, right? I've never really had the plan or something here, how to become successful, stable, or but it's like, it's like, it's possibly because it's growing in you. Like it's growing forward. It's becoming more and more evident what this may be for you, right? And it's like the more and more time, or the older you get, or the more you tap into these energies, the more it becomes apparent that this is what you should be doing, instead of being a cashier in Walmart. No offense, but that's what I feel like. It's that it becomes more and more present. The time master can also be this, that if you actually tap into cyclic aspect of time, there could be this feeling that you connect with. It could be like you could have an Akashic record experience, where you suddenly see yourself as this guy here, that you see yourself as this guy being some kind of master here, having some certain skills here, and that's what you are doing. And you did that in Lemuria or Atlantis. You did it at some point, or you are doing it in year 2500, right? That is your occupation. That is the seed that you hold, that Earth needs. It may not be that you can bring it to the forefront fully. Maybe you will, but otherwise you're carrying the seed, and the next generation carries it, and so on. And in the meantime, Earth is moving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, where this is becoming more and more apparent. And it will have value. Like it's a yin. It is, we talk about, in spiritual cycles, we talk about this idea that the fifth dimension is about the divine, the feminine that rises, that the feminine rises again, where she has been dimmed down and more dormant in some way. that she rises, and therefore these will come forward here. The unique gifts card is about superpowers, a sense of purpose, the meaning behind your quirks, exploring your interests and shortcomings that could be discovered as unique skills. What would the world be like if each person contributed from a place of overflowing enjoyment without obligation? Where would we be if the jigsaw pieces came together for a diverse and complementary reality, free from prejudice and competition? Some of us have already discovered or remembered what we feel we are here to do, right? Others are still seeking or just starting to consider this idea. Your inspiration may come as a message in a vision or dream. It may be something others have recognized in you for a long time. It may come from a deep resonance with something you are yet to try. You may be concerned it will affect or transform your current lifestyle, and it probably will, right? Your gift or purpose may be something you enjoyed immensely as a child but did not bring into your adult life. Perhaps there is an array of shoulds holding you from what you love doing. That's what I feel like. It's like the indecision card. It's like, nah, I don't know. I don't feel it's strong enough, or that I'm strong enough in this. I don't feel, well, I must say there is also a little message. I'm not sure there is a little message that these kind of go together here. Like almost like you are wondering if someone would invest in you. Like someone with a coin here would invest in you. It could be someone very stable and powerful in something. Someone seeing your value. Or that man, that yang, that the time right now for yang is like investing in you, that it's not ripe, it's like the yang community or the yang energy doesn't see the value, so it's not investing. Like it doesn't want to pay me. It doesn't want to give to me for what it is that I am here, right? Like the flowers are extremely important for the bee. If there were no flowers, if there were no way of how the bee could collect its nectar, or what it's called, the bee can buzz around and fly around, but they can't bring anything home. So the job they're doing is worthless. In that way, the flower is very important. It requires a flower. Otherwise, or some kind of plant. Otherwise, the bee can't really... Right, it's like... Maybe you know that you are one part of, that you are, maybe you know you are the yin to a yang, that you know you are a yin to a yang, and you're wondering where he is, like where is the yin, the yang to my yin, right? Or that matches, where is the yang that can see my value? Because I'm doing two people's jobs, or I'm doing double shift because I have this, because I am this, I'm doing double shift, but people can see it. Where is the one who can see it? Where is the one who can see this and is willing to invest in it? Like, hire me as, you would say, I don't know, an oracle. Hire me as a alternative healer. Hire me as a, where is the part of society perhaps who would do that? I believe that certain clairvoyants have been hired by the police, right, to look for missing people. Maybe you have some kind of unique gift there, you know, like looking for this job. Where do people see the value of what it is that I can do, right? How do I find a job or a place or a person, a boss that wants to invest in it? But almost, I get almost, it's a bit more than that. It's something like you know that the Yang collective or the Yang energy on Earth at the moment in the green tomato state is not prepared to pay or accommodate, or you could, what's that, if not pay, exchange, like well, again, it's like the flower. If the bee doesn't come, it can't pollinize. So what's that? Pollinize. It can't make the so the flower needs still the insect or the bee to come, right? For the next generation of plants to come again. It's almost like you know that you have something here that needs to work with a yang. That needs to work with a yang somehow. It's almost like, you know, you are the flower of something and you need that yang to come, right? You need them to come and bring something here. Does that make sense? But something, again, something tangible. You can come to me and tell me, oh, you did a great job. How nice that you could tell me this. What a great prophecy. But it doesn't pay your bills, right? The kind regards, the appreciation perhaps, it doesn't pay your bills. So you need something to see that it has a value, that it has value. That you're looking for something that sees the value and is willing to invest in you. Like willing to invest with something tangible. Again, I got this feeling of like money. How do I earn this money? Or how do I get paid for something here? Because it seems like nobody is. If I had a great new product and I somehow came up with a business plan, I went to an investment firm and they saw the product and they saw the business plan and they said, yeah, this is a great product. I want to invest in you. I want to invest in what it is you have created. That's what you're looking for, right? It's like you have something here and you want something, or you're looking, where do I somehow, how can I sell myself, like this ability that I have? Where can I go and someone would invest in that? You know, like being hired as an empath, not as a sales consultant or a, you know, like a kindergarten teacher or a social worker or something, where you do use empathy when you speak with your clients. But the job you have is a social worker. You do use empathy, but that's just part of, you could say, your skill to have that job, right? Here you're looking for a job that specifically takes your unique gifts here, and you are paid for that. That's what I feel like is what you're looking for here. Where do I find that? Maybe you're realizing that you can't find it. Like it's not there. It's not this time, this third dimension, it doesn't allow for it. Like it doesn't allow for Earth is going through this change, like a development, maturing state towards the fifth dimension. And in the fifth dimension, we will need all of these skills here. But it's almost like there are these waves of awakening in people, where they're suddenly waking up to like new ideas or new things that come alive, that come online for them. Like they become more conscious about something that they haven't thought about in a long time. The inner child healing is more and more. But it's almost like we are a bit ahead of time. It's time, like society doesn't follow that quickly. Like I believe we have many women that actually wake up to this idea of being healers, being balancers, being working with energy, working with the earth, fire rituals and blessings of the earth and things like that. But it's just, you can stand out there and bless the field, but you don't get paid for it, right? You don't get, how can I sustain myself here tangibly, my physical body and maybe my family? How can I sustain that if I am someone who works with earth as a shaman, right? I bless the fields. I hold gratitude. I sit in motherly peace and harmony here and hold that energy on earth. That's one of the ways of maybe heightening, like ascending and holding a more love-like energy. But nobody pays for this, right? They don't pay you. How can I be safe if I choose an occupation like this? Or maybe not occupation, but serving for the highest good. How, if I want to serve for the highest good and sit in my beingness here, where is the yang that invests in that? That's what I feel like I have here on the table. 1 hour and 33 minutes in. But you know me, right? This is what I feel like. It's like this wanting perhaps to be independent, wanting to be your own king, like sitting like in your own power and owning this, right? And actually putting, you want value on it. Like you want value on what it is that you can do here. That it's valuable. It's not nothing. It's not something that is worth no coin, right? It's actually worth a coin. It's worth maybe a Bitcoin, right? And it should be paid for, but today it's taken for granted. Like we are only now waking up to the fact that healers could be paid, right? That I know some have been living as healers for many years, maybe generations, but in the Western world, this is something that becomes more and more that what I do, what I can do here, that I have set myself up a business as a clairvoyant, for instance. And this is a special skill. If you come to me, I'm not sharing this with you unless you're willing to invest. When you're willing to invest, you tell me that I have value. The money is a way of showing the world that I have value, right? I have value for what I am here. What I am innately this more than something else. Innately I'm more this than I am a cashier person. So why not, in the name of God, let me serve like that? If I am supposed to serve like that, I still need to live. I still need to pay my bills. I still need to feed my family. I still need to... so where is the energy that wants to invest in that? Who sees that value? Or who wants to connect with me? It could be a partnership. It could be a romantic person here. That you're looking for, where can I find a man who will take care of like the tangible stuff, but sees my value as a healer, right? Where is the one that will come in and like provide us a stable foundation, and I sit in this, because again it's like they are the bee here, or they must be. It's not just that you're looking for, like a well-paid man in your life. No, it's like they see that, they understand what you're trying to do here. They understand that you're part of something. As I said, like the bees need the flower. Do you get my point? It's like what you are here is something that they somehow appreciate or need or understand the balance of. That you balance out something with being what you are, and they do something because they are yang here, right? And you are yin, and the way you are yin is, I don't know, maybe you are a stay-at-home mom, right? But you choose to do that because that is what you innately are. You are a mother, for instance. And they see that, like they see that I prefer her here, not to like, it's because that's who she is. Like I see that value, right? I see that this is where she thrives also. This is her environment. This is all she is. And I love that about her, right? I see the value she creates here for our children, for me when I come home, right? And I bring then something else to the table here. So it could be, like a very traditional role model, but still with an edge to it. It's like, because you know this about yourself, because you know that I can't be in a factory. I would not survive in a factory. It's too much noise. There's too much. I need to be in nature. I need to be a shaman here, right? So maybe someone is working in cooperative business here, but they like that. And this is how they contribute with something. But you are the opposite, right? You are the one that when they come home, the environment you create at home with your crystals and everything, it's just this relaxing, peaceful, healing place. And it helps him. Do you get my point? It's like you're looking for definitely a balance. If this is not about another person in your life, you're looking how to stabilize your own life with the innate beingness you are and the sensitivities you are. So it's an environment that suits you, possibly an environment or place where people would actually pay for your services here, right? They would pay for your services so that you don't have to juggle between this like ordinary job thing and then this other thing that you are maybe wondering if you could launch a new lifestyle like that, if you could serve like that is actually your life purpose, serving as a medium or becoming like a full-time channeler. Well, I don't think you can channel full-time, but let's say half-time then channeler, and that's the way you earn your money. That is your life purpose. That's why you are here. And someone would pay. Maybe you make prophecies here, right? And people pay for that. It's about like getting the street value out there, right? That the talk in the street is that Pisces is actually valuable, and we pay her for this or him for this, right? And maybe also, this realization, and it's almost like time. The tomato isn't ripe, right? It's like like if it was a hobby from your childhood that you love drawing, right? And you're thinking, yeah, but the way I was drawing when I was a child, can that actually be, like my full-time job? Would people pay for that? Is that a thing? And I think, yes, it could be if you sharpen it, like you mature it, right? You look at it, you test yourself, you try new methods, or you find maybe new maybe you use different kind of colors. Maybe you do chalk or coal or something. That you decide to maybe work on a different paper quality, or plastic or metal or something. And now suddenly your drawings change, and they could become maybe very popular, right? It's just something about yeah, it could be that I said in the Aquarius reading that it was almost like Aquarius was embracing a part of themselves that felt a bit otherworldly, like it could belong to another realm somehow. And this guy, he looks a little bit like he is otherworldly somehow. He could look like an alien somehow. But it could be that maybe you have qualities like, I said in the Aquarius reading, maybe that you don't really fit, that Aquarius wasn't fitting very well with people. But they were doing very well with horses or dogs or something, because they are using maybe telepathy. And it works with animals perhaps, but it doesn't work with humans. or only very few can actually respond back, right? That because it's so fast, like it's very fast, and it delivers not only words. And people may think that telepathy is only words. It's not only words. Like there are feelings, mental states. Yeah, there could be words, but it's also information where when words don't work, like when you don't have a word for what you're feeling, you still have the feeling. Like that's the telepathy delivers everything, even the things you don't have a word for. Like that's how effective telepathy is. It's like the whole thing. Of course, you can have, I don't know, the level of telepathy probably. Well, I don't think we have seen like telepathy in its full capacity at all. Like, and it would be also being a telepath like that is extremely overwhelming because they pick up on anything. Like everything has a voice, you could say then. Like the walls, the table, the lamp, the pictures, the knife you use when you make breakfast or do lunch boxes. Everything has a voice. Everything can say something that you pick up on. Everything has energy that you pick up on. It's a lot of information to like do besides being the cashier. That's what I feel. That's what I feel like. It's like there's two jobs going on, or two service, but you only get paid for one because the other is unseen, or I wouldn't say it could be covert. Maybe you're not saying it, like maybe you're not, because people would just, your boss would just, what are you talking about? I'm not paying you for being an empath. What are you talking about? Like you say you are a balancer, like a yin-yang balancer. What are you talking about? Right? They would just maybe like roll their eyes on you. And you know that. You know the time isn't there, right? But you may still be on the outlook, right? For like maybe a job, like a place or an environment, a place that can make you, I feel like, also protect yourself a little bit, like a place that takes into regard that you do have this, that you do have something extra, perhaps, that you do have something extra. And that particular place, those particular co-workers, or let's say you work at a school, that those particular pupils actually could benefit from some of this, right? That you know that you're looking for a place or a situation where there is an investment in you. For instance, you could say disabled people who are nonverbal. If you have abilities to read or hear or read communication from a non-verbal person, that would be a skill then that actually would need to be paid for, right? Do you get my point? I think that's what you're looking for. This particular corner of earth or of society where my skill can actually have value, right? You could be like a horse whisperer, like you're very good at calming down or something. You go there and you just touch them in a certain way. and it makes them calm down, or something like that. You work with like animal telepathy or something. But it's where people actually, or animal clairvoyant, right? That you understand something that others don't. Like they don't have these skills. And because telepathy, for instance, or empathy is still in being an empath, I want to say it's more than ordinary empathy. Like it's much more than that. And because you do have this innateness in you, it should be recognized. But it's just like the time is not quite there yet, right? It's not quite there yet to see you, recognize you, right? Recognize that this is a skill that actually should be, now I get rewarded, but it should be paid for, like many other things in society that we pay for. Other kinds of skill, proofreading, any kind of skill that people have, translation, building something, cleaning. You can be like a house cleaner and get money. But why not be a house cleaner energetically? Meaning that you do rituals in the house to clean the space. A space clean, house space cleaner. Not in the sense that you rub and use water and something. Well, you could use water, but otherwise you may use incense, right? You could be someone who is cleansing space. That is because that is innately you. It could be that you're just sitting in the room and you're telling a certain energy to leave the room, right? That is a talent that you have. You may burn a little bit of incense or something. And then when people get home, it's like they just feel this, wow, it just feels so different. But there are these thoughts about it, right? Thoughts that could potentially make you say no to this, right? I just feel like you should sharpen it. I feel we are all in a process where we are moving towards a ripening of something. And the ripening is, like when you get an idea and you're not quite certain, it takes us like certain steps to get to the execution of it. You're molding the idea, right? Maybe it becomes bigger and more like I said here, that underlying energy is energy that has been, maybe it has been very dormant. You never thought about it really when you grew up. But then it has been kind of just, it showed itself, and then it became more and more loud, like in you. It became more and more visible here. That you're wondering if you're on the right path in your life, right? You're wondering if the job you're doing, is it actually making you feel successful? Does it make you feel like that you are, does it give the stability? And it becomes more and more and more and more. And eventually it's like you can't overhear it anymore, right? It's like, and maybe at the same time your sensitivities become more and more and more apparent. And it makes you second guess even more here, because now this is in your face, right? It's right there. And you're wondering who would invest in that? Like who would come forward and invest in that? Like who, or how can I be my king of Ariel here, successful and stable and accomplished? How can I get recognition, perhaps status, or like that I become someone who holds this coin now. I own this coin because I'm worth it. We have a new moon in Virgo on Thursday, the 14th of August, September. And well, why not put in new seeds, right? Virgo is earth energy, and this is tangible here. Why not try to work with that energy? New moons can be about manifesting for the highest good of everything. Or when you manifest for yourself, just if you do a little ritual, just close with a sentence like, if this, dear God, thank you if this is your will, right? Something like that. If this is God's will that you're supposed to get to this end goal, he will most certainly show you the way there. Maybe you don't know how to get there, like how to make something like this a way of earning big cash, for instance, right? Maybe you don't know how to make it into a successful experience for you. You don't know that yet. It doesn't matter. It's there. It's part of the journey. You're not supposed to know. But you're supposed to maybe do something instead of maybe procrastinating about it. So sharpen it, figure out, maybe you need to talk to someone who knows more about this. If you know someone who knows more about being an empath, or someone who is a shaman in one way, or someone who is an astrologer, I don't know, but this alien or cosmic kind of feeling to it here. Maybe telepathy or something, or mediumship. Like if you feel like you're not quite sure, you could ask someone, right? You could engage with someone who maybe has years of experience with this, and maybe they could help you to figure out how to do this differently or more organized or something. Well, yeah, I think that is definitely a thing to organize with someone. If you really want to pursue something like that here, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be psychic gifts. It could be that you did something when you were a child, as I said, drawing or something. But you can, it's almost like, because this indecision becomes more and more and more apparent in your life, it's urging you, right? When there is enjoyment in what you do, you can give more to it, way beyond your usual capacity. It lights you up, like when you think and talk about it, and you need less in your life as you are fulfilled through doing that. That's exactly what I feel like. It's like the normal cashier job is not filling you up. It's actually maybe draining your energy, right? Where this other thing could be something that actually fills you up. When you don't do it, you might feel ungrounded or low in energy. And when you're doing it, you are actually feeling more lively, happier or stronger or more energized, right? So whatever it is, it's definitely something that you shouldn't let it go, right? If it fills you up, it's definitely something that you should look into, and again meditate or something, because it could be something that you are actually very skilled at. You just have forgotten about it, that it's in your Akashic record. It could be something you did in past lives. It could be something, as you said, when you were young, like you were engaging with this when you were young. Could be anything. But somehow, because I'm talking to Pisces here, I want to say that, well, the psychic gives the ability to speak with something beyond. Could be that you can speak with the dead, that you can speak with ancestors, or you have certain ways of communicating beyond the veil or something. And still it's like, but it should be something that people are regarding as valuable, not just something they take for granted, or not just something that they expect you to do, right? That it's not in a service way. Like, if this is supposed to be like a job, you should be able to sustain yourself, or at least have this feeling that I'm provided for somehow. If people are not paying for your services, the money is appearing from other sources, because it's you are doing God's will. He will make sure you are paid, you will be paid, right? He will make sure that it's coming somehow. Maybe from another source, it doesn't matter. You may still be serving, like sitting and serving in what you're doing, and the bills could be paid from somewhere else. Or you have money from somewhere else, that you're taken care of somehow. That could actually also simply be what this card is about. Will I be taken care of, kept, you could say, by something or someone or God or whatever, if I do this, right? If I do this more and more, will I be kept? Am I kept? You could say, if you really love it, it's usually something that would light you up, as I just said from the book, right? If it's with enjoyment, if you like it, it will light you up to think and talk about it more. It will be something that you are enthusiastic about, more so than maybe your cashier job in Walmart, right? And therefore it's giving you something. It's giving you life force. It's giving you joy. It's giving you a sense of purpose, perhaps. It gives you a feeling of being innately in tune with who you are here. And maybe that is so much better. Still wondering, though, if you will be kept. Will I be safe if I choose to do this full time, or if I choose this is my occupation? Yeah, that's what I think that this is about. All kinds of thoughts about this. And this idea that, is time ripe? Like, do they get it? Like, do they understand? If I try to share this, will they understand? There are also things about feedback, right? What if they don't like it? Or what if they don't think it's worth the money? Will I be fired or sacked? What if they don't want to pay for the service that I'm making here? What if it's a total failure? Like going through all these, it's a maturing phase towards something, I feel like. I just have this idea that this becomes more and more loud. Like, it becomes more and more loud that what you are doing right now is not right, and you have to make a choice. Something you haven't made a decision about yet is becoming more and more and more and more loud here, I feel like. I think it's not just a choice about purpose, it's about happiness also. And it's also about trusting in yourself. Do you trust enough in yourself to choose this particular you? It's like if you are not doing this, it's like you're not choosing you. You're choosing something that others want you to be, the cashier in Walmart. But you're not really, and sitting there is probably draining you, right? So you're not choosing you when you are there. You're choosing you when you sit with this, but you're not choosing you when you are not doing it. So it's almost also like the decision here comes with, do I stay with what I know and what I have, or do I go with this part of myself that I'm figuring out if I can establish value with this, if I could get paid for this, or can I find a job where these innate qualities that I have are actually paid for and understood and valued, right? As I said, like if you work with disabled people or children who do not have a language, or even if you work with babies, like really young babies, right? 6 months, a year, who do not speak yet. Like if you have telepathy here or empathy, you would be brilliant, right? Because you would be able to feel and recognize what could be going on here, that something is off somehow. When they are crying, something is off, we know that, but what is it? And as an empath or telepath here, you would probably be able to pick up, what is it that is wrong, right? That is a unique gift to have. Because you hear beyond, like you hear beyond something, or feel or tune in or know beyond something, the clairs. Clairvoyant is known, claircognizant, clairaudient, clairsentient. These clairs here can be activated in different ways and used. But people cannot necessarily, when they just look at you, they can't necessarily see that you have some of these abilities. You know, perhaps, if you have them, or you have become aware of it, maybe in a negative way, that you feel the sensitivities and you're really wondering, what am I supposed to do because I feel stressed out and drained in Walmart, right? So I have to figure out somewhere else, but where does this fit? Where do I fit in like this? And again, it's like when we become sensitive, it's seen as vulnerable. We become weak because we can't deal with the noise and the pace of the yang world. It's seen as vulnerability, as weakness. So we are regarded as less reliable, like less somehow. But it should be the other way around, right? That this actually has value, but it's like the time isn't there yet to, that it's understood, and you are perhaps also not trusting it yet, trusting your abilities, and also trusting that you have power to protect yourself. This is a process. I have figured some of this out over time, how to somehow protect myself better with some of the energies. I'm probably not done, but it's part of it, because if you're very open and you want to open a business, and people come toward you and you take in all their energy like a swamp, right? You may be able to give them some kind of information, but afterwards you just sit, like you're totally drained. That's not the way to do it, right? You need to be prepared somehow to deal with whatever energy it is. If you work with children or disabled people or people who have a brain damage, the information that you get could be a bit foggy, right? And it would take a certain tune to your antenna to actually get it right, perhaps, right? It's but that's just so can you take the feedback also? Like can you deal with the feedback of people? And can you deal with the feedback that comes with, let's say, customer like Trustpilot, right? If people give you a bad review, what about that? Like, would you then totally discard your plan here and feel like a failure, about this? Or it's like there's this riping, that needing to become resilient enough and trusting it enough, sharpen it enough. And I feel it's not that you shouldn't start doing it. I think you should start doing it. And probably you realize, well, it could be a journey here, right? That I'm going through a journey of maturing. Maybe you will not have the coin right away. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you are in a sharpening or growing process. It's part of the journey to release the old. The old can be this like a safety system, right? That you somehow, but that's what I have. I don't know what I get, but I know what I have. I don't know what I get. So I know that this is for now paying my bills, but it's not at all who I am. It doesn't represent who I am and my values or anything. It's just a job, and it actually maybe drains me. And every time I speak about this, I lighten up, I feel enthusiastic, I like it, I love it, but I'm not sure that it can sustain itself, because maybe I'm not trusting in myself enough that it can. I'm not trusting in me delivering it right, or deliver what is right, or what people want to pay for, right? That one thing is that you're enthusiastic about something, but it doesn't mean that people want to pay for it. You should do it anyway, I think. If it lights you up, if it gives you energy, and again, you need less in your life if you have this particular thing. When you go about this, you need less of other things, because it in itself is lighting you up. That is a way of abundance. That is a way of a happy life. That is a way of feeling enthusiastic and maybe stronger or more energized. It may not be money, right? But it's a start, at least. So go with that. Again, it's a maturing process, right? And eventually I think it takes off in some direction. But there's a journey, and in this journey you also go through fears. You go through all the thoughts I've talked about today. You go through like, I'm not sure about this. This is a growth process. And in that process, you're also figuring out if this is actually important enough. If it's important enough, you will go towards it. Otherwise, if it's not important enough, you're not doing it. If it's important enough, your loyalty comes and your devotion comes to it. And you are lit up by it. So naturally you choose it. Naturally you go there. But it's a maturing process. And Earth goes through a process of growth. We, as her Earthlings, go through a maturing process, and we are just not that far along yet, right? So we have to be patient with ourselves also a life lesson. That you actually want to devote yourself to this. You want to become this. You want to choose yourself. Choose that you trust this. Choose that this is me. That you identify more with this than being a clerk in or cashier in Walmart. That now this is your identity. This is who you are. This is the one that I am known for, right? This is what I do. This is my work or where I'm in service. And I identify with this. Absolutely. Then you're maturing towards, becoming ripe, you could say, right? To hatch something. And I think you're on that journey to hatch something here. Maybe one more card just to see. Yeah, 9 of Ariel here. This is a card of like the 9 of your dreams are fulfilled, hard work leads to great success, a love for the beautiful things in life. This is a dedication, right? That you dedicate yourself to believing in the dream, right? To believing in you, to believing that you can conquer something here, that you can be this. That you can be this magical being here, right? She rides a unicorn here, right? I don't know what this is. Maybe you're a novel writer, right? Maybe you liked making up stories about knights and unicorns and, all kinds of magical beings when you were a child. Maybe you could become a novel writer here. But you're wondering because there are so many other novel writers out there, why should my stories be special? You should just keep the vibes up, keep the vibes up that your dreams are fulfilled, that you feel fulfilled when this is there. Really take this in, that when you do this is where you feel fulfilled, where you feel you are in tune with the absolute best of yourself. And just have more of that. Because eventually you get so used to it that you can't not have it in your life, right? It becomes almost a need for you, right? That this is something that I don't want to not have it in my life, right? And that's also why you liked it as a child. So it could be dreams, it could be fantasies. Maybe you like being in Fantasyland. You have all kinds of visions and weird stuff going on in there, but you like it, you love it, right? Maybe you are into some kind of role play here, right? When you were a child, you were Batman all the time. You took the costume on and you were flying through the living room, right? And you were Batman and you just overcame everything. And if that's, and you remember that, right? I was this, wow, I did that. I did that for years, right? That was my superhero. I identified as being that superhero. Maybe you should start figuring out whether you can use that for something, right? That's what I feel like. I hope this helped somehow, Pisces. Take very good care of yourself out there. I send you my very best. Love and light to you. Bye-bye.